What if ancient religious texts and modern scientific discoveries all pointed to one shared truth, one method of healing, awakening, and transforming the mind? Imagine for a moment that the wisdom of prophets, the counsel of sages, and the findings of neuroscientists are not separate threads, but interwoven parts of a single tapestry. This tapestry tells a story, not just of belief or intellect, but of a deep universal experience, a place where silence becomes sacred and stillness becomes strength. The answer lies in transcendental meditation. Today we'll journey through the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, and the frontiers of neuroscience to explore how all three illuminate the power of transcendence and inner peace. Transcendental meditation is more than just a relaxation technique. It is a bridge, spanning the gap between the sacred and the scientific, between East and West, between mind and spirit. For centuries, humans have searched for methods to quiet the mind, heal the heart, and awaken the soul. Some sought answers in temples or churches. Others turned to philosophy, while still others trusted in the rigor of science. But what if all these paths, seemingly divergent, actually converge upon a single, silent truth? Consider for a moment the power of stillness. In the rush of modern life, silence can seem rare, even unattainable. Yet, across cultures and millennia, the call to stillness echoes. In this exploration, we'll discover how the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, and modern neuroscience all speak to the same silent power, a power that transcendental meditation unlocks within each of us. Let's begin our journey in the familiar pages of the Bible. In Psalm 46:10, we encounter these profound words, "Be still and know that I am God." At first glance, it might seem like an invitation to rest. But this is no passive silence. It is an ancient command, a call to enter a deep, living stillness where the soul communes directly with the divine. Stillness, in this context, is not emptiness but presence. It is the fertile ground where faith takes root, where clarity emerges, and where one's true self is revealed. Throughout Scripture, silence is depicted as sacred. In the story of Elijah found in 1 Kings 19, the prophet seeks God in the tumult of wind and fire, but finds him only in a still, small voice. This voice is not heard with the ears, but with the heart. It is the voice that speaks when all other noise has faded, inviting us to remember our source. Transcendental meditation provides a pathway to this very experience. By transcending thought, by settling into a deep inner quiet, practitioners discover a realm of pure, wordless awareness, a space where the soul remembers its connection to the divine. Importantly, transcendental meditation does not replace religious faith or tradition. Instead, it deepens the spiritual connection that already exists, whether one identifies as Christian, Jewish, or otherwise. It is a tool that allows the individual to access the silent sanctuary within, a place where the divine can be experienced directly, beyond the limitations of language or dogma. Now, let's travel eastward to the ancient wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita. In this timeless dialogue, Lord Krishna reveals spiritual truths to the warrior Arjuna. In chapter 6, verse 46, Krishna declares, "The yogi is greater than the ascetic, greater than the man of knowledge, greater than the man of action." But who then is this highest yogi? Krishna explains that the true yogi is one who meditates, who unites with the self. This union is not achieved through intellectual striving or physical austerity, but through the silent transcendence of meditation. Here, the Gita points to a state beyond ordinary consciousness, a realm called samadhi, where the mind becomes perfectly still, expansive, and free from the grip of ego and thought. This is not a state of blankness, but of fullness, a silent, radiant awareness that underlies all experience. Transcendental meditation guides the mind effortlessly toward this very state, allowing practitioners to access the deepest levels of consciousness without struggle or strain. The roots of transcendental meditation reach back to the Vedic tradition, the same spiritual soil from which the Bhagavad Gita emerged. For thousands of years, yogis and sages have practiced techniques designed to quiet the mind and reveal the self. Transcendental meditation stands as one of the most faithful and accessible applications of these ancient teachings, offering a direct, experiential path to inner peace and self-realization. But perhaps you're wondering, does all this sound a bit too spiritual? What does modern science have to say? In recent decades, the world's leading universities and medical schools, Harvard, Stanford, and many others, have put transcendental meditation to the test. Over 600 scientific studies have been conducted, rigorously examining the effects of this simple yet profound technique. The results are nothing short of remarkable. Research has shown that transcendental meditation reduces cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. In a world where chronic stress is linked to countless health problems, this alone is significant. But there's more. Brainwave studies reveal that during meditation, the brain increases alpha wave activity, patterns associated with relaxation, creativity, and focused attention. This isn't the mind drifting or becoming dull. Rather, it's a unique state of relaxed alertness, where the mind is calm yet fully awake. Perhaps most fascinating is what happens in the prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain responsible for executive functions like decision-making, emotional regulation, and self-control. Transcendental meditation strengthens this vital region, enhancing one's ability to respond to life's challenges with clarity and balance. The body, meanwhile, enters a state known as restful alertness. During this time, the body rests even more deeply than it does during sleep, while the mind remains alert, a state no drug or therapy has been able to replicate naturally. It's as if science is finally catching up to what the sages and mystics have always known, that deep within us lies a wellspring of peace, clarity, and resilience, accessible not through struggle, but through stillness. So what happens when we bring all these threads together? The Bible calls us to stillness. The Bhagavad Gita calls us to transcendence. Science shows us what happens to the mind and body when we heed these calls. Transcendental meditation becomes the meeting place, the sacred silence where all three worlds converge. This intersection is not about conversion or abandoning one's beliefs. It's about connection. It's about recognizing that the peace we seek is already present within us, waiting to be discovered. Transcendental meditation is simply a method, a tool for peeling back the layers of noise and distraction, revealing the silent truth at the core of our being. Imagine, for a moment, what your life might look like if you could access this stillness each day. Imagine facing the challenges of work, family, and the world, not from a place of exhaustion or anxiety, but from a wellspring of calm and clarity. Imagine relationships deepening, creativity blossoming, and a sense of purpose emerging, not through force, but through gentle alignment with your own deepest self. Whether you pray in a church, chant in a temple, or study neurons in a laboratory, your search for peace is valid. You are part of a long tradition of seekers, people who have looked beyond the surface of life, longing for something deeper, something true. Transcendental meditation is not the answer to every question, nor is it a replacement for faith, study, or service. But it is a tool, a profound one, that can support anyone on their journey. In a world that often feels divided by politics, by religion, by ideology, it is easy to forget that some truths are universal. Truth, after all, is not exclusive. It is inclusive, embracing all who are willing to listen. Transcendental meditation may not be the only key to peace, but for many, it is an ancient key to a modern dilemma, a way to unlock the silence within, where healing, awakening, and transformation are possible. So, as you reflect on the wisdom of the Bible, the insights of the Bhagavad Gita, and the discoveries of modern science, consider this. The journey to stillness is not a journey away from life, but toward it. It is a return to the source, a homecoming to your truest self. If this exploration resonates with your own journey, if you're seeking that same stillness, that same sense of connection and peace, know that you are not alone. There is a silent community of seekers across the world, from many traditions and backgrounds, all discovering the transformative power of transcendental meditation. As you go forward, remember, silence is not emptiness. Stillness is not stagnation. In the quiet, we find ourselves. In the stillness, we discover the divine, the self, and the astonishing potential of the human mind. So take a breath. Embrace the invitation. And perhaps, in the gentle quiet at the center of your being, you'll hear the same silent truth that has echoed through scripture and science alike. A truth that is waiting, always, to be remembered. If this message speaks to you, share it with others on their journey. Like, subscribe, and invite someone you care about to explore the sacred silence that unites us all. The search for peace is universal, and sometimes the answer is as simple and as profound as being still and knowing. Transcendental meditation is an invitation, not to believe, but to experience, not to convert, but to connect. And in that connection, to discover that the peace you seek has been within you all along.